Hello everyone, and welcome back to Let's Play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Last time, when we left off, I had explored and cleared out Hrackert Station, just leaving the pressure doors to the outside, having collected the Enviro Suit and the Sonic Emitter, which will allow me to deal with the Feraxin sharks. We're ready to go outside. You can only go outside solo, so it's just going to be my main character, rolling on out through the pressure door. See how it goes. Activating airlock control. Engaging airlock seals. Warning, hostile environmental conditions. Environmental suit advised. You only have one Enviro suit available. If you proceed through the airlock, all party members will have to stay behind until your return. Leave party members and begin airlock sequence. Pressurizing airlock chamber. Success. Releasing airlock seals. Success. Alright, here we go. So, we have a whole enormous new map of the Manaan seafloor to check out. Looks like a dead end to my right. Let's head over here. Survivor. What's up, bro?
Who's there? You're not Selkath, I can see that much. Are you another rescue crew?
I'm Doug Tetra. The Republic sent us down to investigate.
I'm a merc the Republic hired a couple days ago to investigate. But all we found was a bunch of insane Selkath killing everything that moves. All my companions are dead. The Selkath swarmed over us. There were dozens of them. And they looked wrong, somehow. Like something had changed inside them. Insane or something. Oh, I'd have gone back to the surface long ago if this complex hadn't been overrun by all those crazy Selkath. There's no way for me to get to the submarine docking bay.
What are you doing in the underwater section of the facility?
I discovered a way to get to the bay and seal off the rest of the base. I just have to find the Kolto harvester they built on the edge of the Hrackert Rift. It's got an emergency override to open the doors to the submarine docking bay. And I could get in from the outside. I figured my only chance was to slap on an environment suit, head out onto the ocean floor, and check that harvester out for myself. Besides, it's gotta be safer out on the ocean floor than back in there with all those crazed Selkath mutants running around looking for dinner.
Okay, I'll come with you.
I'm not spending another minute in this facility. Not with those psychotic fish people all over the place. I'm heading out to the ocean floor right now. It leads to another complex of buildings. Going through them is the only way to reach the Kolto harvester. We should probably stick together. But I won't wait around in here with the Selkath. You can catch up with me if you want. Down the hall and through the doors on the right. I'll be waiting on the ocean floor where it's safe.
And there he goes. Alright, so we can follow him, but I'm interested in exploring the entire map. I don't like how slowly we have to move. This is another... Remember, there were 3 pressure doors. Ostensibly, we could have taken any one of them out. So that one goes back inside where we already were. Welded door. Well now, what are you? This door has been welded shut. Pretty straightforward. Alright. Hey, loot! My exploration is rewarded with what? 2 average frag mines. Alright, well, that eliminates all but one road. We'll go catch up with our fella. Oh, got hung on something. Follow our boy. We may have missed seeing it, or we may not have. I won't say anything until I'm sure. Oh yeah, there he is. You can see those firaxan sharks are suddenly very much around without glass between us.
Come on, hurry up. Don't just stand there, we have to keep moving. The water is filled with cow! Ah!
Alright, so we can fight off the sharks with the sonic emitter, which is, I mean, obviously what we need to do. There's a firaxa. Can't really do anything until they're close to us. But you can see it kills them pretty good. Let's go west first. Nothing over here. Well, alright then. There's another firaxa. I just want to get an idea of what my start time was. So, 42 hours, 2 minutes. Yeah, 41 hours, 29 minutes, basically. That can't be right. 41:53. That's closer. So, I've been going about 9 minutes. Okay. That gives me a pretty good idea of when I started, which is what I wanted. Wrecked. Hello, boys. I'm interested in going over here looking behind that welded door. Is there anything? Yes, footlocker. A nerve amplifier belt. That's it? I mean, I guess it wasn't very hard work to get back here, but... definitely kind of annoying. That's for sure. What's up, bro? Same to you. Alright, we got a pressure door to the south. Wasn't much to that. We've got another set of buildings to explore, but this time, obviously, I have to do it solo. I can see that footlocker through the wall. That's weird. Airlock. Alright, well that's a map, but we're gonna keep going. Hooray. Colto Control is where we are now. Insane Selkath! Hey, get wrecked, boys. I'd like to throw on a master speed. Then another force wave. I've got to remember to buff up with speed. It gives me 4 attacks per turn instead of 2 when I do a flurry. 4 computer spikes and 2 antidote kits. Dilly dilly. Force field here. Let's check the side rooms first, because obviously those are survivors. Insane Selkath. Throw on a master speed. Let's go fight him now. Oh, that one was stronger. It's like, why didn't he die? Okay, so this is presumably the other entrance. Four computer spikes, 2 antidote kits, Republic Soldier Corpse. Search the Selkath remains first. 3 cryo-band grenades. A breath mask and an Achani dueling shield. Adrenal stamina, 13 credits. Just rip through these right quick. Alright, let's check this other side room. Not much to it. 2 med packs. 2 cryoban grenades. Alright, let's select the force field.
No, you can't come in here. You'll let the firaxan and the Selkath in. No, stay out! Stay out! I won't let you open the door for those monsters to get in. I'll stop you. I'll suck all the pressure out of the chamber. That'll stop you.
Kill them! Kill them now!
60 seconds to complete depressurization. 54 seconds to complete depressurization.
What? What do you want? Go away! You'll let the firaxan and the Selkath in. They'll get us like they got all the others.
No, I'm Doug Tetra and I'm here to help you, but first you have to stop the depressurization sequence.
No. The firaxan, the Selkath, I can't let you in. They'll get us.
I'll keep you safe, I promise, but you have to let me in.
I don't want to hurt you. I don't want to hurt anyone. I'll unlock the door, but you have to come in quickly. I'm sorry for what I did. I don't know what came over me. I just panicked when I heard someone outside the door. Please forgive me. I'm just so scared.
We're both just scared.
When the Selkath went crazy, I thought everyone else except me and Sammy went mad. We had a few people outside the station when it happened.
The Feraxin sharks just tore them apart. It was like they were frenzied.
The next thing we knew, our Selkath researchers started screaming and clawing at everything around them. My team was torn apart and eaten before my eyes. Sammy and me, I thought we were the only ones left. We heard the Selkath outside the doors every once in a while, and strange noises echoing through the base.
We thought everyone was dead or insane. I must have been hysterical. I don't know what I can say. I truly apologize for the horrible mistake I was making.
I'm Kono Nolan, and this is Sammy. We were scientists working here on the Feraxin Rift project.
What was the Republic doing here?
We had a secret agreement with the moderates in the Selkath government. They knew that Manaan could not survive independently if the Sith were victorious.
Those thugs would wipe out the whole damn planet just to get at the Kolto.
So the Republic approached them about making this secret installation to harvest more Kolto, where the Sith couldn't see us. But all that went horribly, horribly wrong.
What happened?
We don't know. Not for sure.
The work teams were outside in the rift, near the vent. Then there was this rumbling, and my head felt like it was splitting open.
This monster rose up from the rift.
It was a firaxan shark, I think. Bigger than anything I'd ever seen before. Bigger than our submersibles.
It was like it was screaming inside my head.
Then all the Selkath started screaming too. And they turned on us.
Turned on you?
It was like they couldn't control themselves. Like the sound that the monster was making in our heads drove them insane.
Well, maybe it was protecting the ruins by the rift.
It could have been. It might have a lair in the Feraxin Rift near the Kolto vent. That might explain a few things too.
Like what?
Like why it reacted so violently when our construction efforts got closer to the vent. And also, why it's so large. It must be feeding off the Kolto. It would have to be ancient indeed for it to reach that size. With Kolto as a food source.
And all those other Feraxin sharks? Those might be its offspring.
Which would be why they all swarmed when it called out to them. Children coming to protect their mother.
So what can I do about it?
The Feraxin sharks have always been a serious problem. We had some blasters and projectile cannons to defend against them, but they still got some of our workers from time to time.
We were working on a soluble chemical compound that would drive them away. Something that smelled or tasted repulsive to them, but we never got it working right.
Oh, I think not. Even flawed like it is, it should be ideal for this situation.
No, it's not working right. You don't know what it'll do.
What are you talking about?
The repellent we made was supposed to drive Feraxin sharks away, but we never got very far in its development. The one we tested instead was violently toxic to them. rupturing their outer skin in seconds and preventing them from drawing oxygen from the water by clogging their intakes.
Which is exactly what we need in this situation. Something to kill that monster shark that destroyed our station.
But we don't know how else the chemical reacts. We only tried it in a controlled environment. In the open ocean, who knows what it could do? It could even affect the Kolto.
We know exactly what it'll do. It'll kill the shark. That's what we designed it to do.
What else could I do?
You don't need to do anything else. We have a canister of the toxin here right now. We were working on it before the giant firaxan drove all the Selkath insane. All you need to do is insert it into the main Kolto harvester and have it vented. Get away as soon as you can. We don't know how much worse it'll affect the giant firaxan shark.
What other choice do I have, though?
Well, the monster seems to have been driven out by the machinery we installed at the edge of the rift. We've seen it out there on the cameras, bashing itself against the machines. I think if you could destroy the machinery we installed, the shark would calm down and retreat back into its lair inside the rift.
How would I do that?
You can reprogram the harvesting machines to overpressure their self-oxidizing fuel, so that the fuel tank canisters will rupture and the entire machine will destroy itself. The hydrolium gas we use is a gas at 1 to 3 million sanguine, a liquid at about 4 million sanguine, and a solid above that. When it's a liquid, it's very explosive. If you inject enough of the hydrolium gas into the tank, the pressure will be so great that it'll turn to liquid form and start a chain reaction inside the machine.
But we'll lose everything we've built here. All those years of work.
It's better than whatever your chemical will do to the water.
I will try to destroy the harvesting machine. That's the light side choice.
Good. Destroying the machinery will be better in the long run. We can't risk damaging the environment or the Kolto. You'll have to break into the computer on the harvesting machine and fiddle with the fuel injectors to get the tank pressure up to the point where the hydrolium will liquidize. Once the machinery is gone, the shark should leave.
That won't work and you know it. We have to vent the toxin from the harvesting machine. Once the shark is dead, we can get back to mining the Kolto. You know what you have to do.
I just hope you make the right choice.
Journal entry added, items received. Chemical canister. A canister containing a chemical toxic to firaxan sharks. Mission for the Republic. There are ancient ruins near the rift that Kolto is harvested from, but there is also some sort of huge firaxan shark out in the water. The two scientists you met, Kono Nolan and Sammy, have given you several possible ways of defeating this beast. Kono says that you should poison it, and has given you a canister of some sort of blister agent they developed to use against the sharks. By putting it in the harvesting machine and venting it, it will spread through the water and kill the beast which drove the station insane. Sammy thinks that this toxin may contaminate the water or environment. She says that if you cause the machinery to rupture and explode, the beast may go back to its slumber. She says that you need to get the pressure of the harvesting machine's fuel tanks to exactly 4 million sanguine. At this pressure, the fuel will be extremely unstable and explode. Alright. Well, let's roll on. Guess we're going back outside. I could end here, but there's just one more little map left for all of Manaan. And I would like to finish this planet. So, let's go. Activating airlock control, engaging airlock seals. Begin airlock sequence. Hey there, Feraxa. Yeah, I'm on a different. This map is called Fractured Rift. Alrighty. Oh, hi. That one goes back to Frackert Station, so that's the third exit. I never interacted with it. I'm guessing something would have prevented me from coming straight out here. Let's go this way. And there's something I find magnificently, terrifyingly creepy about big underwater environments and dealing with enemies inside them. This giant firaxan shark is spooky to me. So you can see the giant firaxan over there. I assume if we just walk towards it without doing something to deal with it, it's going to kill us. Accessing harvester control, success. Harvester status nominal, command query. Access fuel tank pressure control. Loading pressure control layer, success. Operator warning, hydrolium unstable at 4 million Sengen. Pressure would rupture container pod. Fuel injector pod at 0 of 3 million Sengen. Container pod at 0 of 5 million Sengen. Command query. Okay, so I gotta... So let's fill the injector pod. That'll give me 3 million Sengen. Fuel injector pod at 3 of 3 million. Container at 0 of 5. Command query. Transfer from injector to container. Injector at 0 of 3, container at 3 of 5. Let's fill the injector again. 3 of 3, 3 of 5. Let's transfer from injector to container. 1 of 3, 5 of 5. Let's dump the container pod now. Now we can transfer in. So it's at 1. Now we can fill the injector. And now we can transfer, and that'll put the container at 4 million. Error, harvester malfunction. Emergency shutdown initiated. Failure. Warning, container pod unstable. Evacuate immediately. This is the video you get if you destroy the harvester. Pretty short. Got interrupted by a movie. I wasn't expecting it. I should have been, I guess. Journal entry added. Experience points received. 1,500. Alright. Mission for the Republic. You overloaded the fuel tanks for the colto harvesting machinery and caused it to explode. With the machine gone, the giant firaxan shark lost interest and returned to wherever it had laired. You found one of the star maps in the ruins it had been guarding. Well, that's jumping the gun a little bit. Oh, the giant firaxan's up there now. Sea Beast. Oh, come on, I just want to look at it. Now that the colto harvesting machine has been destroyed, the great firaxan shows no signs of hostility. It allows you to pass. Sorry about that. My recording crashed. But, I mean, the game was just fine. Hi, Sea Beast. So this is suddenly very easy. Star map's just over here chilling. Let's go get it! Journal entry added, items received. Star map, Manaan. You have recorded the coordinates from the star map you found on Manaan into a data pad. Quest for the Starforge. You've discovered another ancient star map beneath the oceans of Manaan. As before, the map is incomplete, but each map you find fills in more missing pieces of the puzzle. Hopefully, once you find all the star maps, they will give you the location of the Starforge. That should have completed one, if I can find it. Star map, Manaan. You have acquired the star map from the Crackert Rift on Manaan. Most excellent. Alright, let's head back. Let's roll inside. Oh hey, my crew's back. We're right here. We can just roll out. So let's roll back to the submersible. Heal my 1 damage. Not even sure when I took it, but it's immaterial. Gonna get interrupted for another movie when I try to fly up, I'm sure. So it tends to go, it seems. Oh, Crazy Duder's gone. What happened? Guess it doesn't matter. I'm so sure it's going to do a movie, I'm going to cut the recording now. Here's the sub ascending. Exciting stuff. Alright, here we are back in Otto City.
You've returned. I was beginning to fear that you too might have been lost. Did you find out what had happened down there at the facility?
Your construction woke something up.
Something was down there? Living in the rift by the Kolto?
A gigantic firaxan shark that drove all the Selkath insane.
It's horrible. The entire operation wasted by a disaster we could never in 1,000 years have foreseen. What has happened to the facility itself? Were there any survivors?
A few scientists have survived.
Well, that's good to know. Good to know indeed. But what has happened to the facility? Was it damaged?
The harvesting machine was destroyed.
No, that is terrible. That will set our work back years. It may even cost us the war. While I am glad that you were able to solve our problems, the cost may have ended up being much too high. But you have done your job and helped us in our time of need. And for that I thank you. Oh, and did you end up finding your star map?
Yes, I did.
As you can see, by helping us, you helped yourself. Perhaps we can work together again in the future.
Alright, light side. What? I was supposed to get light side points. Oh well. Journal entry added, 500 credits received, 900 experience, items received, items lost. Cardio power system. Feats required implant level 3, constitution +4. This implant increases the cardiovascular recovery rate and pain tolerance of the wearer, giving them almost supernatural stamina. Alrighty. Oops. Alright. Let's leave the Republic Embassy, where, spoilers, we're gonna promptly get arrested again. Stop, human. We have detected a number of underwater detonations coming from the vicinity of the Rackert Rift. You have been known to have asked questions about this, and our spy monitors in the Republic Embassy recorded you leaving in a submersible that descended to the Rackert Rift. You will come with us immediately to answer for your actions, or we will be forced to take you by force. Very well, I will come peacefully. But if they can do that, the whole system could. Silence, this is not for outsiders to hear. Well, human, you find yourself in a most difficult situation. The Rackert Rift is the most precious resource on Manaan, and anything that threatens it or the Kolto it produces threatens our entire species. We will not tolerate threats to our neutrality, our existence, and our way of life. As much as we may admire your republic and your order in particular, I believe you will have a hard time explaining your role in this incident adequately. We have determined that you were responsible for the detonations that occurred near the Rackert Rift. We demand to know what occurred down there. If the Republic has broken its neutrality treaty with us, the repercussions shall be very grave indeed. What have you done to the Rift? The explosions were at the research station both our governments set up there. Research station? What are you talking about? Don't try to lie to us, human. We know of this. What? It will be discussed later. This cannot be kept silent. The council will hear nothing of this, and you will keep your silence or be ejected from the court. But we cannot. Silence. What has happened at the research station? What caused the explosions? The machinery had woken up a giant firaxan shark. A giant firaxan? Could it be? Impossible. It is only a legend. But he said he killed it, didn't he? You killed this shark, human? I destroyed the machinery to save it. The progenitor, it must have been. Be quiet, that is merely a myth and not fit for outsiders to hear. But if it was the Lifebringer, the ancestor of our species, think of what this could mean. If it always laired there, then perhaps the Kolto. Enough, off-worlders are not to hear of such things. But he said he saved it. He destroyed the harvesters to save it. Indeed, this casts your actions in a new light, human. This, I believe, will require more thought, both on your actions and on what we must do in response. This court will adjourn while we deliberate. We have reviewed your actions and the situation, human. We thank you for the destruction of the machinery and saving the giant firaxan, which we believe is the source of our Kolto, or at least its guardian. We will not detain you any longer. While we cannot show our gratitude overtly, know that you have earned our respect. This trial is now over. Fair enough. That's it? No journal entry even? Alright, well, now we can transit back to the Ebon Hawk. We're done on Manaan. We can now have a whopping 4 conversations with Jolie. I'm gonna have the first one now.
Got something on your mind? Oh, I get it.
Alright, well, let's go inside. Can't remember. Did I look at everything I wanted to do? Yeah.
Got something on...
What do you know about the Sith?
Bad, bad men. Women, too, to be fair.
You must know more than that.
Oh, indeed. They make a fine sandwich, also. But don't tell the Jedi Council I said that.
Do you know anything important about the Sith or not?
And just what gave you the impression that I know anything more about the Sith than you do?
You did. You said you fought them.
Oh, that's right. Damn the years of the young. I was expecting you to be your usual inattentive self when I mentioned that. So it's true, yes. I fought plenty of Sith. That was during the time of Exar Kun. Oh, 40 years ago now. Has it been that long?
Who is this Exar Kun?
Exar was a Jedi who was corrupted by ghosts of the old Sith. Or so they say. He attempted to conquer the Republic and create a new golden age of the Sith.
And he was killed?
Better to say he was defeated, but essentially yes. The victory did not come easily, however.
What happened during the war with Exar Kun, then?
That is not a pleasant time to remember. After Exar Kun fell to the dark side, he attempted to recruit other Jedi to his cause. What surprised us, what took us completely unprepared, was how utterly successful he was. Many Jedi joined him and became Sith themselves. Why they did, I will never truly know, but they did. Battle broke out throughout the Order, pupil against master. We fought ourselves.
That must have been difficult.
Yes, more than difficult. Next to impossible. How do you fight against someone you love? Pah, I dislike such memories. It leaves a taste in the mouth that... it is a sadness I thought I'd put aside long ago. Ask me about the war some other time, just not now. I would prefer to be by myself for now.
Journal entry added. Jolie Bindo. Jolie talked about the Sith and mentioned that he had been involved in the Sith War involving the infamous Dark Jedi Exar Kun. It was obviously an unpleasant memory for him, however, and he told you to ask him about it later when you gained more experience. We should be able to do the next 3 with him now.
Oh,
As is so often the case, we probably need to in and out a bit, do some area transitions to make it work right.
Got something on... Oh,
Just a side note, I'm not going to be able to do it, but if you want to repair HK-47, now is the time to do it.
Got something on?
Do you want to talk about the war now?
Not particularly.
No time like the present?
I suppose you're going to nag me until I cough it up, aren't you? Nothing is private anymore, it looks like. There's no escaping it, I guess. So be it. My wife's name was Neyama. She was the Yukatis enforcer who shot me out of the sky, if you remember.
What does your wife have to do with the war?
My wife had plenty to do with the war. Upon meeting her, I knew right away that she was strong in the Force. That's why she was able to shoot me down. Neyama was a marvel of a woman. Fiery, determined, smart. She dragged me to the capital and foiled 3 of my attempts to escape prison. Oh, and that body.
The war?
Well, yes, that. Needless to say, I eventually won her over. That was after I kidnapped her upon being broken out of the Yukatis prison, mind you. But, that's another story entirely. At any rate, I wanted to train her in the Jedi way. The Council refused my request, naturally. I was still a Padawan at the time. I was an experienced Padawan, surely, but not yet ready to be a full Jedi, and certainly not ready to train another, especially not one so old as my wife.
And what did she think of all this?
Neyama was intrigued by the idea of becoming a Jedi. She liked the idea of power too much, perhaps, but I certainly didn't see that at the time. I believed in her and trained her in secret. I ignored her willful nature. I loved her too much to see fault in her. She loved me too. I know she did. At the time, our love was a shared bliss. Better than anything I had known before or since.
So what happened?
Exar Kun is what happened. Neyama was inspired by Exar's promises of a new golden age. She wanted to join him. She came to me, pleading with me to throw aside what she called the decrepit trappings of the Jedi, to join her in Exar's war.
What did you do?
I pleaded with her to reconsider, to think about all that she was throwing away, to think about what she would become. She would have none of it. Finally, in frustration, she attacked me. She drew her lightsaber and attempted to strike me down. It was a scene being repeated everywhere throughout the galaxy. Pupil against master. In my case, it was a long and terrible battle, but I defeated her.
You killed her?
No. I had her at my mercy, disarmed and defenseless. She looked up at me and she knew. She knew I couldn't do it.
I don't think I could have either.
But I should have. Sometimes I convince myself otherwise, but it's no use. She had fallen to the dark side when she raised her saber against me, and I let her go. To my shame, she went on to kill many Jedi during the war, until she herself was slain in the final battle. I grieved for her death, inevitable as it was, even as the Jedi Council put me on trial for my actions once the war was over.
They put you on trial?
I had trained Neyama against their wishes. I had failed to kill her when I had the chance. She went on to kill others. Not to mention that I had remained a Padawan throughout the war. A formality, perhaps, but with the trial, it had to be decided if I was worthy to become a Jedi at all. It was a travesty, of course. I told you that even the Jedi were capable of great injustices, didn't I?
So that's the source of all this bitterness? They found you guilty? So you think you didn't deserve to be punished?
Of course I deserved to be punished. They found me innocent anyway, even though I deserved every punishment and more. They let me go. Mitigating circumstances, they said. I deserved compassion, they said. They said I had learned wisdom the hard way. For all I had done during the war, they wished to raise me to full Jedi status at long last. That was when the Jedi left me. That was when they failed me.
I don't understand.
No, maybe you don't at that. They may have been able to forgive me. I could never forgive myself.
And you still believe love is worth the risk?
Yes, I do, I suppose. Does that surprise you? It's all so long ago, lost in the winds, I suppose. Nobody cares what an old man believes anymore, do they? Let's continue on with the task at hand. I would prefer to think of the present today.
Journal entry added. I think whoever voice acted Jolie did a pretty good job. He successfully convinced Jolie to talk about the Sith War, how his wife turned to the dark side, and how he ultimately abandoned the Order for not holding him as responsible for her actions as he held himself. You might be able to ask him more about his past a little later, once you've gained more experience. We should be able to have 2 more conversations with him.
Got something on...
We'll have to disembark and reboard the ship, like we so often do. That's okay, though. There are worse things. It's not like the game has long loading screens at this point.
Got something on...
It's a little strange that he'll only talk to me on the ship. I don't think I've seen that with anyone else so far. Not that it really matters.
Got something on...
So when did you go to Kashyyyk?
Oh, that was not until many years later, to tell the truth. I spent quite some time wandering the galaxy.
You were adventuring again, I take it?
Nothing so extravagant. I merely traveled from place to place. I don't even think I knew what I was searching for. It wasn't as if my travels were pleasant either. There were plenty of folks who distrusted the Jedi after the war, or worse.
With good reason, I imagined. With good reason, I imagine.
I suppose so. Not everyone would understand why the Jedi would suddenly start killing themselves and tearing up half the galaxy, would they? If people weren't treating me with suspicion, they were looking at me with greed. I don't know how many thought they could make use of me for their own ends. I got so sick of the treachery and deceit. I left the civilized parts of the galaxy and headed instead for the uncivilized parts.
So that's when you went to Kashyyyk?
Actually, I was on my way somewhere else when I crash-landed on Kashyyyk. The ship I was using was a rust bucket.
You survived a crash landing on Kashyyyk?
I'd taken some damage passing through an unexpected asteroid field, as I recall. But I wasn't completely without some systems. I could still guide her a bit when I crashed. It wasn't what I would call the smoothest landing, especially considering I ended up smack in the depths of the Shadowlands. But I lived.
Why didn't you just fix your ship and keep going?
I'm no mechanic. And besides, after you plunge nose first in the trunk of a 5-kilometer-high tree, chances are you don't have much ship left.
So you crashed and stayed?
Sure, why not? Seemed like an interesting enough place to spend a couple of decades exploring.
How did you survive in the Shadowlands?
That was a challenge at first. You've seen the kind of creatures that exist down there, and you miss the really big ones. I was still able to rely on the Force to keep me safe for the most part. The rest of the trick is keeping out of the way of most of the predators.
It couldn't have been easy.
Oh, that's true. Still, most of the creatures grow accustomed to me, and I to them. At least none of them ever heard of a Jedi.
And the Wookiees didn't mind your presence?
Oh, they did at first, oh yes. I can't say I was overly pleased to encounter a group of indigenous giant carpets either, I can assure you of that.
You seemed on fairly peaceful terms with them.
Well, that was after 2 decades of helping them. They certainly didn't trust me at first.
You helped them?
When I could, I would assist a few young ones who would get lost in the Shadowlands or attacked unexpectedly by the wildlife. I must say, for a while there, the Wookiees actually thought I was some kind of benevolent forest god. Amusing, really. I set them straight eventually.
Why didn't you stop the slavery of the Wookiees then?
At first, when the slavers took to hunting down lone Wookiees in the fringes of the Shadowlands, I did my best to divert them. Later, when Shundar made his deal, I didn't see any point. I wasn't here to save them from their own sad follies, after all.
Wasn't it all a bit primitive for you?
Not really. Kashyyyk is a place you can feel very small in. It felt good to devote my time to helping people and living simply.
And you didn't receive any news from the outside?
What can I say? I did it all for the Wookiees.
The Wookiees?
The Wookiees. Well, okay, maybe I needed some time on a quiet and remote planet, but if you ever need a friend, incredibly strong hairball isn't a bad call.
You sound quite fond of them.
I suppose I am in a way, despite the smell. For a race of gardeners, they've developed quite interestingly.
Gardeners?
You remember the alien computer, correct? Kashyyyk was meant to be an agricultural planet. The Wookiees were made for a reason, or at least that's what I'm thinking. But I'm an old man who's had a long time to develop that opinion, so don't argue with me. At any rate, we should be moving along, don't you think? If you sat around this long in the Shadowlands, attack would eat you.
Journal entry added. Jolie Bindo. You asked Jolie a little about his time on Kashyyyk. You can ask him more about it later, once you've gained more experience. We should be able to have one more conversation with him at this point.
Got something on you? Oh, I...
Probably have to disembark and reboard, like we've been having to do. That's alright.
Got something. Oh.
Alright, but with this, we are going to be done on Manaan, and next we would head to Korriban, but if you've played this game before, you know that isn't really what happens when we interact with the galaxy map.
Got something on.
So if you liked Kashyyyk so much, why did you want to leave?
Are we back to that again?
I find it hard to believe you left the Wookiees just for some adventure.
It's the best way for me to approach this. Perhaps it's time for a little story.
Couldn't you just answer the question for once?
You just keep quiet there, you. I've had to put up with all your busybody questions, haven't I? Well, now you listen to a story, damn it. Now, where was I? Oh, yes, the story. You almost made me forget about it. Nice try, but I'm not that old just yet. Now then, a young man sees a terribly venomous snake in his small village. Nervous, he watches the snake carefully until it leaves. The young man follows the snake into the forest. He clears the branches out of its path and helps it over obstacles. He even works to keep it fed.
This is a very long story.
Shush! Many nights pass, and still the young man continues to follow the snake. He even follows it into the sands of the great desert. In the desert, the snake eventually grows hungry. It turns and bites the young man, its poison quickly working its way into his system. Finally, curious, the snake looks at the boy as he lays dying and asks, "Why were you foolish enough to follow me all the way out into the desert?" The boy looks back and replies, "Did I follow you? I thought I was leading you away from everyone else." And then he died.
Am I supposed to be the snake?
Well, now, that's what I wanted to see for myself.
And what's your judgment so far?
I've told you before that you have a destiny before you. This does not mean, however, that your future is already written. They are not the same thing. You have the choice of which direction you take your destiny in. More than engine-sucking Andor, certainly. But even he had a choice. So far, you've chosen to take the lighter path. Can you stay that course, even through the challenges ahead? We'll have to wait and see. I'm not here to judge you or tell you which path to take. I'm here ready to offer you my help, should you ask for it. I do that because I think it's important. More important than remaining in my home and pretending the galaxy doesn't exist. That's why I'm here.
Thank you, Jolie. I'm glad you came.
I'm rather glad I came too, really. You're a fine young lad. I hope things turn out well for you. Now then, I've chatted enough for one lifetime. Let's get this show on the road, shall we?
Journal entry added. Hey, we finished it. So, only remaining character quests are HK-47, who, don't worry, it's not like you don't get resolution on it. We've just lost out on the opportunity to repair him in advance. Juhani and Canderous. Jolee Bindo. You've dragged more out of Jolie about his past than he probably intended, and he has no more tales to tell you for now. Perhaps once your mission is complete and your destiny finally realized, you can talk more. Alright, so I'm going to head over to the galaxy map. I'm going to end this video there because, you know, some things happen when you... And it's not, you know, I mean, I've already been to Korriban, so you know it's not Korriban specifically. It's whenever you try to fly to your fourth and final star map planet, and some things happen. So I'm going to do that on the next episode of Let's Play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. That's going to do it for me on this one. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, I hope you will give it a like and consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to discuss this or any of my other content, the best place to do that is my Discord server. That link is in the video description. And if you care to support me or the channel, the best way, apart of course from liking and subscribing, is through my Patreon page. That link is also in the video description. Patreon supporters get to nominate and vote for the games they'd like to see me play. KOTOR itself is currently in that slot. Once a game's chosen, I play it through all the way to the end, and then I have my supporters pick another. It's a pretty straightforward process. If you want to get involved, you have that option. Regardless, I really am grateful to you for watching. I appreciate your time and attention. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.